ask a question first?
Yeah, I can. Okay, so we're here with Seth Lawrence from Decision Farming and looking at some soybean plants. What town are we in, Seth, officially? Frankfort, Indiana. Perfect. And we're looking at roots. So, Seth, can you maybe share a little bit about what you're doing at this point in the season to evaluate the Terrasym products as you're helping us kind of conduct these deeper analytics on that platform?
Yeah, so we're assessing some stand counts. First and foremost, we're trying to make sure that our customers have everything in the ground and kind of finished up that way, and then we're doing rounds, assessing stand count, doing some root digs, definitely analyzing root mass, nodulation on beans, overall plant growth, and taking these trials and seeing what kind of difference currently at this stage in the game are we seeing, if anything at all. Trying to take a lot of different data points along with that. We've got some really good partners with our growers that we've identified through our network that are really good at tracking data from a planter standpoint, machine standpoint. So we've got our data layers such as planting, date, population, those sorts of things. But we're also out here tracking, what growth stage we're at, soil conditions, weather conditions at the current time, and really trying to bring in as many layers as we can, so that ultimately, when we see a difference, whether it's root mass or plant or maybe even both, we track that along the way to eventually, hopefully, at the end of the day, see a yield gain.
And so what would you say you've been seeing maybe for both corn and soy so far in your evaluations?
Definitely, I would say the majority of the roots, whether it's corn or beans, we've seen a significant increase in root mass, again, between both crop types. I've seen a significant amount, I wouldn't say it's on all, that we've seen a significant increase in overall plant development as well. Not always seeing that, but we are seeing it in some cases. So that's kind of interesting to see. And we are seeing, when we do see increase in root development or plant development or both, with a lot of our growers, we either have strip trials or very good block trials, especially in soybeans. We are seeing it consistently across multiple plants.
Awesome. So we're obviously having to be a little bit flexible with where we photograph our roots today because the wind is blowing so hard. Can we take a look at what we dug from this field?
These soybeans just a few minutes ago.
So what's kind of your assessment of what you saw for this field?
So primarily what I'm seeing as far as a clear significant difference, if you take a look at the plants on the Terrasym side, you'll notice a little bit more advancement in plant development there above ground versus the roots. You do see some significant root growth on both sides, maybe slightly a little bit more, but I'd say for this dig, currently what we're seeing is a little bit more plant development above the ground.
Awesome. And then you were at a cornfield this morning, right?
Yes.
And what did you see there?
Probably the most distinct difference that I've seen so far with any scoutings. Very big increase in root development and plant development above ground. Very good trial too. Our partner, our grower with that, did a great job giving us a strip trial across a couple hundred acres at least. And so we are defining that, pass to pass, take a look at it within similar soil types, within similar populations, within those different zones. But that's probably the biggest difference I've seen from any corn dig that I've done so far.
Awesome.
And we'll post that later on Twitter.
Perfect. We've got a couple more fields to go, right? So
Yes.
We'll have more results.
Yep.
Great.
is my, it's good enough, I think.
So Seth, what do we have going on here?
Well, you know, the black dirt is a blessing until you're trying to dig roots and without breaking them all off, and so that's what we're attempting to do.
Right.
I believe in this field I'm on attempt number 2. We had too many rip-off before, but we're getting there. Let's say first tip with doing this is anybody that wants to know, but take the hydraulic oil out first.
Oh,
and
smart.
use water.
That's really
Gets messy.
Very, very high level.
But no, we're doing root dig assessments here. Today we're southeast of Frankfort, Indiana. Conditions are dry. These beans went in roughly late April, and so as you can see, we've got the first trifoliate out. And so what we're doing for this grower, it's a really good partner of ours to do these trials, is come out, assess not only stand count, but root digs, see what growth stage we're at, overall condition, and just kind of record our observations. And that's what we'll keep continuing to do with this project, with the Terrasym product throughout the season, because you know, I think us is, and we farm too, is that root growth and all that is great, but we ultimately need to see yield, and so that's our overall goal, is to get enough data and then hopefully see that gain at the end.
So talk about some of the other things that you're doing to measure that journey to yield. I know I earlier this week I got to do some of the old-fashioned stand counts. You have a more innovative, cutting-edge technology to do that. So maybe, you know, share some of the other data points you're measuring and collecting, and how you're doing it.
Yeah. So call me lazy, but I use a drone for stand count. It's honestly something new for me with in my business. I never really used it for that, so we're taking a drone this year and kind of testing that out to see how that technology is working, how it's functioning, what kind of numbers we're getting back. Trying some initial stand count tests on my own farm just to see, you know, hey, is that matching with what I'm getting? We're seeing some pretty good numbers there, so have a pretty good level of confidence in that. Allows us to get a bigger sample set as far as stand count, whereas, you know, walking it, you may go to 2, 3, 6 different spots, whatever it is. We can quickly put it up in the air, run stand count across our trial area. Specifically, if we have block trials, it's we aren't really accurate enough maybe to come in and do like a split planter with the drone. We're still going to do manual stand count for that, but other than that, we can send it up in the air, have it do its stand count while we're digging roots and all that. So it's a nice way to get a better data set, a little more efficient out in the field as well.
Awesome. And then over the course of the season, because as you said, you know, there's a lot of different data points we want to look at to see how did we achieve these yield outcomes that we're hoping for this fall. What are the other things you're going to be looking at?
I mean, the data layers that we'll have that contribute to the overall conclusion of this are almost infinite, but, you know, they're some of the ones that come right to mind, you know, planting date, soil type, population, location, weather history, how much rainfall did we get, you know, that kind of thing. All those data layers that we have access to are what we're going to stack together to try and tease something out. What did we see? Maybe we noticed a trend that we didn't anticipate, but we have the capability with technology these days to capture a lot of those layers. and then at the end of the day, kind of crunch the numbers and kind of see what sticks out to us. So tissue testing, soil testing, hey, one of the things we're looking at is increased nutrient uptake. So if that's the case, we're going to test it, and we're going to see, from plant to soil, from check to treated, are we seeing any significant difference there at all? If we are, is it are we replicating that across trials? Those sorts of things. So all of those different data layers are coming back together to hopefully put together a picture that points to yield. Ultimately, if it's a success, that's what we'll see. So back here in Frankfort, Indiana, today, nice, really warm day today, but we've got some soybean root digs here. This field was planted on the 28th of April. We're sitting at about, I would say, I think it's 130 to 140 population. But anyway, we've got a nice check out here in this field. Did some root digs, took time to clean them off. And I think initially what I'm seeing here at this particular field, not so much plant above ground advantage there, but you do see a little bit of root development advantage on the treated side. As you take a look there of the untreated check versus the treated, you see a little bit more root development, a little bit more fine roots that way, and you can see how deep these roots are going here, and that's been somewhat typical of what we've been seeing on soybeans. Not every single time, but I would say the majority of the time when we're digging soybeans with our trials, with our growers that are participating with us, this is kind of what we're looking to see. So it'd be interesting. We're going to keep following this. Ultimately, we know that not just having a root system like this is going to lead to yield, but that's why we're compiling a bunch of data up until that point to see kind of what we see along the way and tell that story throughout the growing season. So,
and maybe not this field specifically, but this particular partner, cooperator with us, they are going to have some Terrasym by population ability. Or
yes.
We could look at that, right?
Yeah, so with this particular grower, we do variable rate corn and soybeans. So we do have the ability within those checks to pull from different zones that we've created with different populations and that sort of thing. So it'll be kind of interesting to see. Maybe there's a difference, maybe not. But it's just another data layer that we can kind of look and compare and see and learn.
These roots were dug earlier in the day at Clarks Hill, Indiana, close to the first site where Seth picked up those impressive corn roots shown in the first picture using Terrasym 450. This product is our lead soybean seed treatment, Terrasym 401. Gotta be honest, digging roots is hard work. It is even harder whenever everything needs a rain really bad, and also when it's 90 degrees outside. So Seth and I have been digging roots on several fields today. Thankful for a great partner with Decision Farming, as well as the growers that are working with us in northern Indiana. We have a few roots left to go.
Wrapping up today out in the field. It was a hot one, but we had some really good findings in some of our trial fields with corn and beans treated with Terrasym 450, Terrasym 401. And primarily what we're seeing on average is additional root development on soybeans and corn. And majority of the plants that we're pulling, whether it's soybeans or corn, we are seeing some significant additional growth from the plant above ground too. So we'll be continuing to take a look at these fields. We've got several across Indiana, mostly the northwest, from Indianapolis, that northwest quadrant of Indiana. We have some in Illinois too this year as well. We're going to continue to monitor these trial fields with our partner farmers and see what we can learn. So stay tuned, and we'll keep you informed on what we see.